All right, Bulldogs, this is a quick tutorial about the difference between an F6 and an F7 animation. I went ahead and created 3 boxes here, and that is going to be my background. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer. And on my first layer, I am just going to create a little ball that I draw by hand. So I'm going to click on my little tool here, my paintbrush tool. I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. And I'm going to come over here and I will draw a ball. Okay, after I draw my ball, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on the frame and I'm going to push F7. All that does is it takes whatever is on the first frame and it puts a blank keyframe next door to it. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on this little button right here. It is called the onion skinning button. And you'll see a bracket appear up here. This shows me a ghosted image of what I drew on the frame previous. Okay, so now I know where to draw my next ball. Now I'll push F7 again, and I'm going to draw it again. F7, and I'm going to draw it bouncing off now. Kind of squished, let's say. F7, F7. For time purposes, I'm just going to kind of move along here. F7. F7. If you watch up on the little timeline there, you'll notice that I'm getting blank keyframe after blank keyframe. And so now if I turn onion skinning off, I remove some of these frames, and I watch that movie, I have a very speedy animation of a bouncing ball. That is an F7 animation. I'm sorry, F7. Let's try F6. For this one, I went ahead and drew a little ant mound. That's going to be my background. And then up here, I'm going to do an F6 animation. In the library, I already created a little character. It's a little ant. I'm going to hit the Q. That's the shortcut for the free transform tool. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Ants aren't that big, I guess. And I'm going to place this ant coming out of the mound. Let's say about right like so. Okay, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to push F6. Now, what does that do? That just takes what's on frame 1 and copies it to frame 2. Well, why would I want to do that? Well, so I can come over here and drag it on here again and again. Okay, so I'm just going to drag it on again. And let's resize. Let's move this and resize it. I guess it'd be a little faster to copy and paste this. I'll do this next time. Okay, so we're just going to do this. We're going to go up here. We're going to push F6 again. Okay, this time we're going to click on this ant and just Control Z, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Move it out over here a little bit. Maybe we want to flip this guy around. Maybe he's climbing down the other way. Okay, let's go up here, push F6. Notice that I'm not having to redraw the character each time. Okay, for 1, I had already converted it to a symbol. And for 2, each time I push F6, it adds to my animation. Okay, so I'm not redrawing it like on the F7, F6. Control V is paste. Instead, I'm just adding to it each time. This is the crucial difference between F6 and F7 animating. Okay, so on this one, if I get rid of this, it's going to be super fast, but you can get the idea. Let's remove some frames. Control Enter. And you can see my blinking, very fast animation of ants climbing out. Okay, so that's the main difference between an F6 and an F7 animation.